Hi and welcome. Today I'm sharing an art journal page in my watercolor journal, and I want to create an abstract spread. It's one of my favorite creative exercises. I do this often when I just want to do something creative and maybe I have not a real good idea, or sometimes I have a busy day and then I just do this over the day. Whenever there is a little bit of time, I come back to my desk and continue to work on such a spread. I recently have shared a 30-minute demo over on the Etchr YouTube channel. It's similar to this one, so if you like it, you can check that out. And I will also have a 90-minute class over at the Etchr Studio website, which I will link up in the description. The journal I'm working in is from Kunst and Papier. It's a watercolor journal and it has a lot of pages, and I believe it has around 200 GSM paper. It's buckling a little bit, but I really like the quality, especially when I look at the price point and also the amount of pages I have inside. The paints I'm using are from different brands. I have Rosa Gallery in my box, and also Schminke. I use some of the core watercolors, which are on the left in the little small tin. I also have some from Mugello and Van Gogh. I kept this video in real time, so you have the chance to paint along with me. And I just do everything intuitive. The only thing I planned a little bit before was which kind of colors I want to use, so which combo, and that's the only thing, and the rest is just pure play. Here you can see how the core colors behave. These are the high flow watercolors from Golden, and they are pushing away other pigments, and this creates really interesting effects. And that's also a good way, if you want to use a lighter or complementary color, wet and wet with the darker or the other complementary, and then the pigments are pushing away the other color, and that gives a nice effect without giving you a muddy color. I don't use special brushes. I tend to buy the cheapest watercolor brushes I can get in my online art supply store, and I believe this one I'm using right now, that was my phone, sorry. The one I'm using right now is from DaVinci, and the big mop brush I've used in the beginning is from Jax. Here I'm just using water, and I drag that into the wet paint so that this one flows into the lines. To create some texture, I'm just using water and paint some circles over the already dried areas, and that reactivates the color a little bit and give me a really nice transparent look. I now go in with that red into the wet circles that I've drawn. I'm now going to let the page dry before I come back with some different mediums. I've picked out one of the Inktense pencils and I'm just drawing a botanical shape into the right corner at the bottom. The Inktense pencils are water-soluble ink pens. They are very intense and saturated, and I really like them for all kinds of stuff. I used them a lot in my sketchbook, but also to do some mark making in an abstract piece. I now paint the background of the leaves with the pencil. I already have some similar videos on my channel, and I will link up the playlist for these in the end cards of the video. Now I'm going in with a wet brush and I just blend in the ink of the pencils. The Inktense pencils become almost permanent when they are dry, so if you want to reactivate them later, it's almost not possible. Of course, you could also use any kind of water-soluble pencil, and if you don't have a water-soluble pencil, you can just use watercolors. Here I'm coming in again with that Inktense pencil to do some scribbly marks, and there I like to dip in the nib of the pencil into water, and then I get a more intense line. Everything is dry now, and I am going through my collage papers. I picked some with similar colors, and here I'm cutting out that rainbow. It's a jelly print on some rice paper, and I've used the rainbow stamp from my Pencil Marks #3 stamp set. I really enjoy making jelly prints with stamps, and you will find some videos on my channel if you search for the jelly printing playlist. When I'm placing collage elements, I often have a view through my camera onto the spread, because that gives me just a different view and kind of it's not the same as looking directly on the page, and that's kind of a distance maybe from your painting, and that makes the difference and makes it easier to decide what looks good and what doesn't. What I love about collage is that you can lay down your pieces first and then adhere them when you are sure that it looks good or that you like it. If you're painting, you always have to take the risk that your next stroke will be maybe a fail or you don't like it. And that's what I also love about mixed media. When I have an area on my piece or on my sketchbook page that I don't like, then I just use some collage later to cover that up. Here I thought that half orangey flower would maybe fit my page, but I think I didn't use it in the end. I think that the shape of the rainbow would fit together with the shape of the flower element. And I truly can't remember if I have adhered it to my spread or not. It's been a while that I've recorded it. We will see. That's one of my favorite parts of such a mixed media page. Looking for collage papers and elements to add to the page. Ah, now I remember. I think I will use this piece. I didn't really like that circle with the red dots inside, and that covers them up completely. And this piece, piece also fits the green circles I have cut before. To adhere the papers, I'm using the Tombow glue stick. It's my favorite for collages because it doesn't give me a lot of glue onto the back and the paper does not buckle, and also it adheres well. And you have, I would say, about 30 seconds to a minute time to remove the paper again. I placed the piece a little bit more downwards so that it lines up with that green area, and what I also like is the yellow that is inside because it's already on my page in the red area. I will now come back in with some acrylics to get even more mark makings on my spread. And I like acrylics combined together because they are opaque and you can cover up areas. And I decided to use that blue color that is on the collage paper already, so everything fits nice together. The piece of collage paper that I've adhered with blue and green and a little bit of yellow is also acrylic paint just smeared over a scrap paper. And that's what I always do. I use a piece of paper as my paint palette, and when I'm done, I'm cleaning my brushes over the paper and I smear the leftover paint, and that gives me the most gorgeous collage papers. I'm adding the marks with a small flat brush, and I also go over the edges of the collage paper, and that connects it a bit more to my spread. The blue, by the way, is the Prussian blue from Schminke I'm using, and I will also come in with the Naples yellow and do some more mark making. I want to cover up that left area with the scribbly lines and the big circle because I don't really like it, and I will mix the Naples yellow with white so it looks as the same color that I have on the right side with that collage paper I've adhered. When you're painting with acrylics over watercolor, the watercolors will blend into the acrylic paint, and that's the reason why I have that gray circle here. I will now let that circle dry, or maybe I will dry it with my heat tool, and then I will add another layer of paint to cover that up. And this time I'm deciding to paint it with my fingers. That's also something I really enjoy doing. If you don't like that, of course, you can use a brush. I picked a pastel pencil and I'm just drawing some lines into this area. And here you can see how I get my collage papers. I just clean the pencil from the paint on my scrap paper, and then I use the leftover paint and I smear it over the paper. I often use a scraper tool or a brush, sometimes my fingers, so I get different textures. And these papers are great for future projects. I've picked out some Posca pens and also some Neocolor crayons where I thought the color is matching. I just check this on my scrap paper, and I can also see if the color is opaque enough and if that works what I plan to do. And I'm just scribbling into the spread, onto the spread with the Neocolors. I'm using the Neocolor 2 crayons. These are the water soluble ones, but I like them more than the number 1. But I just used them without water here. With the Posca pen, I wanted to outline the leaf I have painted in the beginning. And you always have to be a little bit careful when working over a textured paper with the Posca paint pens. They tend to spritz a little. And this one seems to run out, maybe. Oh, now it's better. If it's not opaque enough, you can just draw the lines twice. I finally make some tiny dots with the white marker. Yes, and that's my page for today. I hope you enjoyed that video and I hope you are inspired. Don't forget to check out my class over on Etchr. And yes, we will see us. Have a nice weekend. Bye.